In January 2008, Ecademy subject matter experts Thomas and Penny Power had their knowledge productized for global release. The video you're about to watch is the result of that process. To find out how to create your own line of knowledge products for global monetization, or to view videos from other knowledge experts, visit www.productizeyourself.com.
If we now look at each of those areas, what is Ecademy? Well, I've explained that Ecademy started 10 years ago to help business owners. And how we actually started was before Ecademy even had a name. Okay, it was Thomas Power, who you'll meet in a little while, who will take us through all the tools on Ecademy. He is an awesome networker. We've been married 18 years now, so we've been married 8 years, and I've been observing this amazing way that he networks. He never forgot anyone, and the favours he did for people were phenomenal. And I used to say to him sometimes, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? What are you going to get out of it? I'm embarrassed to say it now, but I had 3 young children, and it mattered to me. And he would be always bringing people home to our house for pasta suppers in the evening, and I'd be there with my 3 little kids and looking like a troglodyte and desperately trying to look glamorous. And these people, I would see this magic that was happening around the kitchen table, and it actually became enormous in our life. And he was on the phone, he was on email. But at the time, 10 years ago, I just started to realise, although I was at home and I had been at home for 5 years with my children, I started to realise there was this thing called the internet, and when I was working it didn't exist. There's a thing called the internet, and surely that must connect people. So I said to Thomas one day, and we were sitting in Pizza Express in Farnham, and I said to him one day over lunch with 3 children throwing stuff around, isn't there a way of us creating a community where people, rather than needing to go through you as the switchboard, can actually go to one another, and they can help one another, and we can create the environment so they no longer actually need you. But imagine if you had that network for yourself, because the way Thomas was making money at that time was as a speaker and selling books and as a trainer. You could also leverage that network. So Thomas said that was a great idea. He came up with the idea of Ecademy because he was flying over to America and he was reading The Economist, and he looked at E, and at the time it was all E, everything was E 10 years ago. And he came back and he said, yeah, let's start it. And that's Ecademy started. Clem Watkins came in really early on. So Thomas, the fantastic thing is Thomas is our thought leader, but he has always constantly been telling us what he needs. Because if he needs it, it's going to be benefit to you. About 3 or 4 years ago, when the term social networking was born, which was fantastic because up till that point we were trailblazing something. It didn't have a term, social networking, Facebook, MySpace, they all came back in. We realised that we were part of a phenomenal market that was now growing, and we were addressing the business market. And we thought, how do we make sure that people realise that Ecademy is a bit different? What we realised was that the members knew that already. And what we have constantly wanted to protect inside Ecademy, through the way that people subscribe and through the way that people use it, and just the feeling that you get when you enter it, and also the involvement that us and all the ambassadors of Ecademy have, is that it's all business people, all in it together. And the most fantastic thing is that because of that, you can actually show some of your vulnerabilities. So that's what Ecademy is. It's a set of tools which you will see, the ability to blog and publish and list marketplace adverts and all these things. But actually what goes around it is this amazing community of people. Now, the best analogy or story I can give you about why that is so important is when I grew up always wanting to help cerebral palsy children. I had a neighbour of ours with cerebral palsy, and I spent my life with him. So up to 19, I thought I was going to be a physiotherapist and help do with cerebral palsy children. I'm not academic, failed to get the academic qualifications. While I was waiting for a year to go to do psychology, a recruitment consultant came into a pub that I was working in and headhunted me into an IT business to do telesales, and I was sent away on a very complicated telesales training course, told how to role play, and made this telesales sound like a science. And I came back and was plonked on this bank of telesales people, and I was absolutely terrified, because what they were doing was stripping my natural talents for something and actually trying to give me skills that didn't suit me. And the critical thing I found out was one day I was on the phone to a guy trying to sell to him, and he had a terrible bad throat, and I said to him, you know, I'm really sorry, you don't sound very well. And he said, no, I don't. I said, well, last thing I'm going to do is sell to you. And at lunchtime, I went out and saw a packet of cough sweets by the sandwiches, bought them, went back, put them in a jiffy bag, sent him a note and said, I'll call you another time, really sorry you're unwell. 2 days later, he called, and because we were selling computer products into dealers, so we were like the middleman, we were selling Hewlett-Packard things, he knew what he wanted, and rather than go to one of our competitors, he rang and he placed this huge order that I didn't even know how to process. And I sat there and I thought, well, that's absolutely nothing to do with the scripts that I've been taught. It's all to do with relationships and friendships. And so when you're coming into Ecademy, I want you to sort of see the tools that you see later as ways of achieving something that you could achieve offline, but this is a way of achieving them online. You know, blogging is publishing. You can do that in your local newspaper or national press if you get lucky. You'll see the tools as things that you feel comfortable with in the offline world, but also realise that you're not here to be somebody different. You're here to be who you are. And that is very, very important. You're just here to make friends, but you know that the friends you're making on Ecademy are business people. They're bright people, they're entrepreneurial people, they're ideas people, they're collaborative people, they're exciting people to know, they're all over the world. And the more you can keep your mind open to all those random connections, the better your business life will be. So that's what Ecademy is.